Hello, and welcome to the presentation on the Epidemiology and Biostatistics specialization within our MPH program. I'm Deborah Salvo, and I am happy to serve as the specialization chair. And today I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what the specialization is about to help you decide if this specialization is for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and give you a very brief presentation today. Okay. So first of all, what is epidemiology? Epidemiology deals with the study of the distribution and determinants of health-related states or events in specified populations, and the application of this study to prevent and control health problems. So some key terms here, distribution and determinants. So we deal with descriptive epidemiology, which deals with the distribution or patterns of health problems in populations. There's analytic epidemiology, which deals with the determinants. What are the determinants? These are the modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors that may lead to disease. So your main question in analytic epidemiology really deals with what causes us to see health patterns in a certain populations? What are the causes and effects of risk factors in populations? And of course, we deal with prevention and control. We're not just interested in health patterns and what causes health and disease states just for the sake of interest, but we obviously care about providing evidence-based information to policymakers, to decision makers, to public health program officers around the country and around the world, so that they can use this to make informed decisions to keep us healthy. So how can you know if this specialization is right for you? Well, you may start by asking yourselves questions like these. Another thing is, once you come to a program, if you do, you will obviously be exposed to some of the foundational courses, and some of them deal with epidemiology and biostatistics, and you can start to get a flavor of what the specialization will be like and decide if this is the way for you. But some questions that I find useful to help students in deciding whether they're going to like epidemiology and biostatistics are things like, do you like thinking about the causes of health outcomes? So why are some populations healthier than other, etc.? Do you like understanding population health patterns in general, sort of trying to make sense of data? Which leads us to the third point. Do you like to collect, organize, and interpret data? Are you good at math? Do you like learning how to code, or maybe you already know how to code? Do you like to think of the best ways to measure and document health outcomes and risk factors? These are some sorts of questions that can help you understand if you would like this, because essentially these are the tasks that us as epidemiologists or biostatisticians do on a day-to-day basis. So what is the structure of the program building in the EpiBiostat specialization? Well, first of all, just like any other specialization here or the generalist MPH program, you're going to have to complete 52 credits to graduate, of which 15 have to come from Epi or Bios specific courses. So the courses shown here with the red circle: applied linear modeling, epidemiology methods, a practicum that has a focus on epi and biostatistics, an epi or biostatistics focused elective course, and advanced data analysis during your last semester. These are all required courses for the specialization. So in terms of what your epi-biostat specialization electives could look like, we have a series of approved epi-biostats electives, which are shown here. Some of them are hosted within the MPH program, as shown on the top of the slide. There are also several doctoral level programs, courses that are offered here within the Brown School, and that could count as an epi-biostat specialization. And on top of that, we have several cross-listed courses with the med school that can allow you to fulfill your epi-biostat specialization credit requirements. Something unique to our program is the skill labs that we offer. So these are 1 credit hour courses that deal with applications directly. So they don't get too much into theory, and they deal with applicable knowledge or skills that you can gain to use, for instance, a specific software package or a specific skill or method needed to analyze data. And we have several of those offered here at the Brown School within our MPH program. One option that you have is to take 3 of these, each of them contribute 1 credit, and together put together your 3 credits for the EpiBios elective. A lot of our students like this option because then you can become fluent in several coding languages. So you could learn SAS, Data, R, you could learn GIS, etc. And there are others beyond those listed in this slide, which, you know, if you think that they could help you in your training towards becoming an epidemiologist or biostatistician, you can come and talk to me, and I can see if I can get those approved if they meet sort of the minimum requirements to contribute to an epi or biostat specialization, for them to help you in putting together and piecing together your 3 credits of elective. Now, in terms of when you actually have to declare your specialization, the deadline is in October, but there is actually some flexibility if you are still not certain by that point of which specialization you want to declare, or if you want to stay in a generalist program. So if you're uncertain of what you want to do, you can always discuss with me and or with your academic advisor. And remember that you can always drop the specialization. So if you start the program and you declare the specialization, but then during their first semester, you decide that you don't really like it, that you want to switch to another one or switch to the generalist program, this is always doable. So we want to provide you maximum flexibility to make sure that you're enrolled in the program that best suits your needs and your likes. In terms of the practicum requirements, every MPH student must complete a practicum. For the case of EpiBio students, we need to make sure that your practicum is focused on Epi and Bios. So all of the practicums must fulfill at least 3 of the 7 EpiBiostats competencies as listed in our program. And so the competencies are as follows. First of all, to explain the principles of study design for identifying risk factors for outcomes. Second, to select and perform appropriate descriptive statistics and tests for differences in continuous and categorical variables. Next, to apply and interpret common statistical methods for inference found in public health studies. Fourth, to describe the principles and the application of key concepts from probability and inference to colleagues without extensive epidemiological or statistical training. 5, to describe preferred methodological alternatives to commonly used statistical methods when assumptions are not met. 6, to demonstrate an understanding of systematic biases that affect observational, quasi-experimental, and experimental study designs. And the final one is to develop written and oral presentations on epidemiological and biostatistical analyses for public health professionals and educated lay audiences. In terms of commonly used practicum sites by our students, here is a list of examples. As you can see, there's a lot of variability. Some are local and some are based elsewhere in the country. You may even find international student practicum sites, and we are happy to work with you on a case-by-case basis if you're interested in doing something like that, as long as the practicum has a strong focus on epidemiology and biostatistics. We usually encourage you to seek out practicum beyond the sites that we frequently see our students using, but we do have a lot of connections and we have a lot of contacts with these organizations to help you in identifying a practicum location. In terms of the jobs that our graduates usually take immediately following graduation, here are some examples. As you can see, the terms like data analyst, research epidemiologist, statistics, research assistant, project manager show up a lot. And they show up in a variety of settings, which can be academic, and so in different universities, including our own. But there are also jobs in the public sector, so in public health departments throughout the country and world, as well as with NGOs or in the private sector. A lot of our students also use their MPH as a stepping stone to go into doctoral programs. Doctoral programs can involve anything between an MD, so doctor in medicine, all the way to a PhD. So you can see here some examples of the programs that our students have been accepted to, our graduates have been accepted to. I'd like to close in getting you to reflect, why choose WashU? We have a diverse range of professors with extensive applied and research experience. Our research focus really ranges from being local to national to international. And in terms of topics covered in epidemiology and biostatistics, they range all the way from infectious diseases, behavioral epidemiology, methods development, all the way to chronic disease prevention, policy and practice, system science, you name it. We have a very, very strong focus on transdisciplinary thinking and problem solving. Our school is inherently transdisciplinary. It hosts a master's and PhD programs in public health, social work, and social policy. So you'll get to interact with a lot of different and interesting individuals, both in terms of the faculty and your peers. We have a focus on doing work that matters. We have a very, very strong focus at the Brown School in dealing with and addressing health disparities and having social impact. And again, this is natural being that we sit in a school that also hosts programs in social work and social policy. So we hold the principles of seeking social justice and reducing health disparities really close to our core. We have a very strong focus on rigorous methods, and we are much more flexible and personal and small than many of our competing programs, which I do think is an advantage for many of our students, since you can literally knock on the door of faculty members in our office, find us, have conversations, and have formal and informal mentoring opportunities. I truly believe, and this is not just me saying this just because, but we are just nice, available people, and we have a lot of connections to local public health organization as well as national and global ones. And we are really happy to help our students. We place a high value on teaching here and mentoring. Other fun things that happen a lot in our school is lots of school food, beverages, and opportunities to interact with peers and faculty, both through formal and informal networking opportunities. St. Louis has sort of a bad reputation, which I'm not sure why, because I've only been living here for about 3 years, and St. Louis is awesome. It's a really fun place to live, and WashU has a very fun culture. So we really hope that you can join us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly at my email here, dsalvo@wustl.edu, and I'd be happy to connect back with you via email or schedule a call. We'd be very happy to have you join both our MPH program and the specialization. Looking forward to meeting everyone in person or via Zoom shortly. Bye.